At 79 years old, Jaclyn Smith steps into a room with the confidence of a Hollywood icon and the grace of someone who's discovered the true essence of time. She's nearly 80, yet when you see her today, you might actually do a double take. Because beneath the reminiscence of feathered hair and action-packed stunts on Charlie's Angels lies a woman who has embraced aging as an art form. From her rise as one of television's first female action heroes to her reinvention as a savvy entrepreneur, Jaclyn's journey defies every stereotype about growing older in the public eye. But if you thought you knew what to expect, take a deep breath. Today's revelation is bound to surprise you. Consider the early years. In the mid-1970s, Jaclyn was a fresh-faced model with a quiet determination burning behind her big brown eyes. When she landed the role of Kelly Garrett on Charlie's Angels, the series instantly became a cultural phenomenon. Jaclyn's combination of vulnerability and strength set a new standard for female leads. She tumbled across helicopter chases, delivered one-liners with perfect comedic timing, and faced off against villains in tight jumpsuits and high-heeled boots. Off-screen, the demands of long shooting days and grueling fight choreography forged a young woman who was as resilient as she was radiant. Fame followed with magazine covers and endorsement deals, but Jaclyn never let it erode her sense of self. She knew that true power came from within. That internal power guided her after Charlie's Angels ended. Instead of fading into the background like so many of her co-stars, Jaclyn reinvented herself. She launched a fashion line that resonated with women nationwide, offering clothes designed by someone who understood real life. Busy mornings, school pickups, and the occasional red carpet event. Talk show audiences tuned in to hear her warm laugh and to glean insights about health and beauty that went beyond simple cosmetics. By the late 1980s, Jaclyn's business acumen had established her as more than just an actress. She was a brand engineer, crafting an empire rooted in authenticity. Fast forward to her late 70s, and the contrast is striking. On one hand, public perception often typecasts celebrities of her generation into two categories: the faded star who clings to past glory, or the reclusive legend who vanishes from view. Jaclyn dismantles those labels entirely. She meets challenges head-on. Fitness routines tailored for longevity, dietary habits designed to fuel creativity, and a daily ritual that begins with gratitude and ends with reflection. Her Instagram feed is a blend of glamorous throwbacks and candid snapshots, moments spent gardening, studio visits where she mentors young designers, and travel diaries expressing her ongoing curiosity about the world. Yet beneath every photo and every interview lies a woman who's never lost sight of the journey itself. Jaclyn often reflects on mortality, not as a grim inevitability, but as a reminder to savor every chapter. She confesses that turning 79 brought an unexpected sense of freedom, the realization that much of life's performance is behind you, and the real spotlight now shines on the present moment. In candid conversations, she describes laughter lines not as flaws, but as the true currency of experience. She treats each crease like an indelible signature of joy, sorrow, and every emotion in between. This philosophy has far-reaching implications. For fans who watched her launch into deadly firefights in the 70s, it's a lesson in adaptability. For women in any career, it's proof that midlife can be a springboard rather than a slowdown. And for anyone contemplating the future, Jaclyn's approach offers a blueprint. Lean into change, trust your inner compass, and hold on to curiosity like a compass guiding you north. But what surprises most about Jaclyn Smith at nearly 80 is how effortlessly she bridges past and present. Imagine a composite scene. The seasoned actress slips into a fitted jumpsuit reminiscent of her Charlie's Angels days. Only today it's styled with eco-friendly fabric and paired with minimalist sneakers. She poses on a bustling New York sidewalk as if stepping out of a time capsule. Yet she's firmly rooted in modern sensibilities, sustainability, inclusivity, and wellness. That image encapsulates the paradox she has mastered, honoring her legacy without becoming its prisoner. So what does Jaclyn look like today, nearly 80 years young? She radiates vitality. Her eyes flicker with the same spark that captured audiences decades ago, and her posture suggests someone who's still ready for action, whether that means a photo shoot, a board meeting, or a charity gala. Her skin reveals subtle textures that speak of lived days under Southern California sun and countless studio lights, but it also glows with the restoration powered by self-care. Truly, beyond her iconic television roles and booming fashion empire, Jaclyn Smith has continued to challenge expectations at every turn. In recent years, she has built a reputation as a savvy wellness advocate, co-founding a line of boutique health supplements designed specifically for women over 50. Drawing on her own experiences with balancing high-intensity workouts and the realities of aging, she partnered with a team of nutritionists and physicians to develop formulas that support bone density, joint mobility, and cognitive acuity. Each product is infused with plant-based extracts and backed by peer-reviewed studies. Yet Jaclyn remains committed to transparency, publishing third-party lab results alongside each item on her website. This open approach has earned her consumer trust and allowed her to connect with a new generation of women who see her not only as a style icon, but as a credible voice on living well. Her morning routine has become legendary among fans. Today, she begins each day before sunrise, meditating for 15 minutes in a softly lit room filled with potted ferns and eucalyptus scent. Then she transitions into a tailored exercise session, a blend of Pilates, resistance training, and gentle cardio, carefully curated by her longtime trainer, who has worked with Jaclyn for over 2 decades. These workouts are streamed weekly through her subscriber newsletter, offering subscribers free tutorials and personalized guidance. The feedback loop of real-time comments has formed an online community where women motivate each other with anecdotes about early morning struggles and small victories. A joint that feels less stiff, a deeper stretch, or simply the pride of completing a full set of lunges. This community engagement has reinvigorated Jaclyn's sense of purpose and allowed her to leverage her platform for genuine impact. Equally impressive is her philanthropic dedication. For over 20 years, she has championed children's hospitals and cancer research organizations. Drawing on her own family history, her mother's battle with cancer when Jaclyn was a young girl, she quietly established the Jaclyn Smith Foundation, which has funded cutting-edge treatments and provided comfort kits to families navigating difficult hospital stays. She maintains a hands-on role, personally reviewing fellowship proposals and meeting with doctors and researchers to understand where funds will have the greatest effect. Despite her fame, she eschews the limelight at fundraising galas, preferring to stand with caregivers and patients rather than deliver a keynote speech. This humility has deepened her impact and cemented her reputation as a compassionate leader. While her public persona often exudes poise, those close to Jaclyn describe a woman who thrives on curiosity. She travels extensively, enrolling in workshops on everything from contemporary art to sustainable agriculture. Last year, she spent a fortnight at an olive oil school in Tuscany, learning to press olives with local producers and studying the nuance of flavor profiles. The experience inspired her to launch a small line of artisanal olive oils, each bottle labeled with the region's terroir and packaged in hand-blown glass. Though offered globally through high-end markets, she ensures that a portion of each sale returns to the olive collectives in southern Italy, supporting economic development in rural areas. This venture reflects her belief that aging should be an act of continuous learning rather than a descent into routine. In her creative collaborations, Jaclyn is equally fearless. She has recently partnered with a cutting-edge molecular gastronomy chef to host immersive dining events that combine her olive oils with culinary techniques that play with texture and temperature. Guests are invited to navigate a multi-sensory menu, where a drizzle of her award-winning oil elevates a savory foam atop a delicate sea-based fillet, or where a citrus-infused marinade from her wellness line enlivens a charred vegetable tartlet. These gatherings sell out within days, in part because they merge her distinct worlds, fashion, wellness, and philanthropy, into a singular, memorable experience. Attendees walk away not only with a refined palate, but with a renewed appreciation for how adversity and adaptation can spark creativity at any age. Throughout these ventures, the through line remains Jaclyn's unshakable authenticity. Whether she appears on a red carpet in an elegantly tailored gown or hosts a small workshop under the shade of olive trees in a Mediterranean courtyard, she brings the same deliberate grace and openness. She frequently emphasizes to collaborators that her success is built on staying genuine to her own story, a narrative that began in Texan suburbia, soared through network television, and matured into a multifaceted legacy of entrepreneurship and compassion. Her ability to reinvent herself while remaining true to her core values has become her greatest superpower. As she approaches her 80th birthday, Jaclyn Smith stands not as a relic of television's golden age, but as a dynamic example of reinvented aging. She defies the notion that circles around are meant to close. Instead, she views them as spirals of possibility. Every new project, whether health supplements or olive oils, carries forward the lesson that growth does not stop with youth. In a world that often sidelines older women, Jaclyn has carved a prominent place for herself by blending consistency with novelty, tradition with innovation, and self-confidence with humility. When you encounter photos of her walking a runway in Milan at 79 or addressing a conference of aspiring entrepreneurs in New York at 78, you realize that her journey rewrites the script on what women can achieve when they view maturity as a masterpiece in progress. At nearly 80, Jaclyn Smith's presence on screen defies every expectation. After Charlie's Angels, she navigated television with equal poise, starring in made-for-TV movies, miniseries, and popular dramas that showcased her range. Viewers still recall her nuanced performance in programs like Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy and North and South, where her emotional depth resonated with audiences across generations. Today, she remains in demand as a guest star, popping up in anthology series and reboot mill projects that bank on nostalgia. Her recent cameo in a hit streaming drama left fans in awe. She stepped onto the set, exchanged lines with younger co-stars, and delivered a scene-stealing monologue that reminded everyone of her enduring talent. That moment proved she can still command attention with effortless elegance and unexpected wit. Parallel to her acting career, Jaclyn has built a thriving beauty business that has become synonymous with ageless confidence. Her self-titled line of skincare products emphasizes natural botanicals and formulations designed to nourish mature skin. Fans swear by her signature serum. The elixir blends peptides, hyaluronic acid, and a proprietary herb infusion that Jaclyn helped develop in collaboration with leading dermatologists. She personally tests every new product before market release, offering feedback on texture, fragrance, and application. Her recent launch of a refillable compact foundation demonstrates her commitment to sustainability, with packaging crafted from recycled materials. By embracing both innovation and transparency, she has earned credibility in a crowded marketplace. Women share before and after photos online under the hashtag #JaclynGlow, celebrating real results and the confidence that comes from feeling truly rejuvenated at age. Jaclyn's digital reinvention underscores her timeless appeal. On Instagram, she shares short videos where she demonstrates her favorite healthy recipes, showcases boutique fashion finds, and offers glimpses into behind-the-scenes moments on photo shoots. Her followers, now numbering over 2 million, engage with heartfelt comments praising her authenticity. She ventured onto TikTok, posting a duet video with a makeup influencer that went viral, earning her a younger fan base eager to learn from her career. She also hosts live streams on her website, answering questions about style tips, career advice, and navigating life transitions. These interactive sessions create a sense of community as viewers from diverse backgrounds exchange stories in the chat. Through social platforms, Jaclyn has proven that her relevance extends far beyond traditional media channels and that her guidance resonates across generations. On the horizon, Jaclyn's next ventures promise to redefine her legacy once more. She's set to publish a coffee table book filled with never-before-seen photographs spanning her modeling, acting, and entrepreneurial decades. The volume will include commentary penned by Jaclyn herself, reflecting on style evolutions, personal milestones, and lessons learned from triumphs and setbacks. She's in early negotiations for a limited streaming series that interviews pioneering women over 75, exploring their creative reinventions. Jaclyn plans to direct several segments, bringing her narrative expertise to the forefront. Whispers of a cameo role in a major motion picture have fueled excitement. Insiders suggest the part will cast her as a mentor to a rising star, an echo of her influence. These initiatives ensure that her 8-decade journey remains dynamic, surprising, and unmissable. In interviews, Jaclyn credits her enduring vitality to a mindset she calls curious resilience. She describes it as the willingness to embrace new challenges, whether learning a digital editing tool at 75 or mastering Pilates at 65, while honoring the wisdom gained along the way. She encourages women to cultivate a network of supportive peers and to view aging not as a decline, but as an invitation to evolve. The lines on our faces chart our stories, she often says, and the chapters ahead can be the most transformative. Jaclyn also stresses the importance of rest, meditation, and creative play. She blocks digital detox weekends to recharge. Her candid reflections spark admiration and introspection, inspiring others to reconsider their own approaches to longevity, fulfillment, purpose, creativity, and personal reinvention. Jaclyn Smith's journey into her 8th decade illustrates that age can be a canvas rather than a cage. She demonstrates that embracing each phase with curiosity, confidence, and compassion can unlock unexpected chapters of achievement. At nearly 80, she stands as a living testament to the power of continual reinvention, melding Hollywood glamour with entrepreneurial savvy, community engagement, and a commitment to well-being. Her life story invites us all to consider how we might rewrite our own narratives, turning every milestone into a launchpad for fresh ventures. As Jaclyn embarks on runway appearances, product launches, and speaking engagements, fans worldwide are clamoring to witness her next evolution. Don't blink. You might miss the next act in one of the most remarkable careers shaping our culture today. Stay tuned and embrace every surprise. Amid bright lights and glossy publications, Jaclyn Smith's presence continues to captivate. In recent months, she embraced her role as keynote speaker at the Women's Leadership Summit in Los Angeles, delivering an impassioned address on resilience and reinvention. She spoke candidly about setbacks that could have derailed her career, rejected auditions, business missteps, personal doubts, and how each detour ultimately enriched her perspective. The audience hung on her every word, inspired by her decades-long refusal to settle for the status quo. One of her most ambitious projects involves mentoring emerging entrepreneurs through the Jaclyn Smith Innovation Lab, a fellowship program she launched to support women-led startups. Selected fellows receive seed funding, mastermind sessions, and access to Jaclyn's personal network of designers, investors, and industry veterans. She regularly hosts virtual office hours, reviewing pitch decks and offering strategic advice. Fellows rave about her hands-on approach and fearless honesty, crediting her guidance with transforming nascent ideas into thriving small businesses. In the sphere of social advocacy, Jaclyn remains a fervent champion for women's health initiatives. She co-founded Health Her Network, an alliance of nonprofit organizations dedicated to providing education and resources for breast cancer prevention, mental health awareness, and menopausal support. Every year, she hosts the Heal for Life Gala, where donations fund scholarships for medical research and community outreach programs. Guests praise Jaclyn's genuine warmth. She circulates among tables, personally thanking donors and sharing heartfelt stories of survivors who benefited from these efforts. Her family life serves as another cornerstone of strength. She and her husband, the late Victor Smith, shared over 4 decades of partnership, rooted in mutual respect and shared values. Though Victor passed away several years ago, Jaclyn honors his memory by continuing traditions they started together: annual family retreats in Big Sur, afternoon garden luncheons, and Sunday evening gatherings around the fire pit. With her 2 sons and grandchildren at her side, she cherishes moments of laughter that underscore life's simple pleasures. In conversations with close friends, Jaclyn often reflects on her spiritual journey. She credits daily meditation and weekly nature walks as vital practices that ground her amid hectic schedules. Whether strolling coastal bluffs at dawn or tending her rose garden in Santa Barbara, she finds solace in mindful observation of the natural world. This reverence for life's rhythms informs her creative process. She carries a small leather journal to capture fleeting ideas, inspirational quotes, or simple gratitude lists that later evolve into new ventures. As her 80th birthday approaches, celebrations are planned both intimate and grand. close friends and family secretly organized a retreat in Aspen, where Jaclyn will host a fireside chat about her memoir, Moments in Motion. Later, a dazzling gala in New York will gather Hollywood peers, designers, and philanthropists to toast her legacy with performances by artists she mentored. Despite the fanfare, Jaclyn remains focused on authenticity. She requested that each guest bring a handwritten letter sharing a personal memory, ensuring that the event reflects the stakes of genuine connection. In private moments, Jaclyn contemplates the evolution of her own narrative. She acknowledges that acting taught her to inhabit different personas, fashion business taught her to anticipate trends, and wellness advocacy taught her to value inner health. These disparate threads now weave together into a cohesive tapestry of purpose. As she prepares to step into her ninth decade, Jaclyn embraces the responsibility of stewarding her own story with integrity, recognizing that every public achievement is only as meaningful as the personal values that underlie it. Her creative ambitions show no sign of slowing. Jaclyn has begun experimenting with a limited series of short films produced in collaboration with emerging directors. Each vignette explores a theme central to her life: rebirth, resilience, and reinvention. Set against immersive backdrops, sunlit beaches, modernist galleries, mountain retreats, Jaclyn appears not as an actress playing a role, but as an insightful narrator guiding viewers through symbolic explorations of identity. These artful shorts will premiere at select film festivals before streaming on her newly launched digital platform. Throughout all these undertakings, Jaclyn's guiding principle remains self-authenticity. She refuses to conform to a prescribed image of aging, instead celebrating the nuances etched in experience. Friends say she exudes a confidence grounded in self-awareness rather than external validation. Even her fashion choices reflect this ethos. She favors custom pieces that complement rather than conceal her figure, and chooses color palettes that resonate with her mood and environment. Her style embodies an elegant proof that true grace is inseparable from self-acceptance. As she turns 80, Jaclyn embraces new frontiers: digital art, interactive memoirs, and cross-disciplinary collaborations. Her enduring message is clear: time should be a catalyst for creativity, not a barrier. She invites everyone to journey alongside her that Jaclyn's eighth decade has been defined by bold reinventions and heartfelt connections. And as she closes in on 80, her next chapter promises even greater impact. In recent months, she launched Circle of Grace, a virtual gathering that convenes women worldwide for candid conversations about aging, ambition, and artistry. Each fortnight, Jaclyn hosts a live video session focused on a different theme: mindful movement, legacy planning, creative expression, and invites guest experts: fitness trainers adapting Pilates for mature bodies, financial advisors guiding retirement portfolios, artists exploring late-life creativity. Attendees tune in from living rooms in London, kitchens in Sydney, and home offices in Chicago, drawn by Jaclyn's genuine warmth and her willingness to share both triumphs and missteps. She frames every session with a personal anecdote: how a fall during a dance routine led her to prioritize stability exercises, or how a management miscommunication once nearly derailed a product launch, transforming expert advice into relatable stories. Behind the scenes, Jaclyn orchestrates Circle of Grace with meticulous attention. She collaborates with a small team of producers who handle technical details, leaving her free to focus on content. Each episode is recorded and archived in a password-protected portal, allowing participants to revisit insights on demand. The vibrant chat thread during live broadcasts often eclipses several hundred comments per minute as fans share breakthroughs, like finally mastering a meditation technique or finding renewed confidence in a business pitch. Jaclyn reads selected comments aloud, offering tailored encouragement. "I see you, Maria in Madrid. Your consistency is inspiring. Keep leaning into those early mornings." In these moments, she dismantles hierarchies, reminding viewers that a Hollywood icon and a novice entrepreneur share the same fundamental aspirations: purpose, growth, and meaningful connection. Parallel to her virtual engagements, Jaclyn has expanded her fashion line to include a sage collection, inspired by earth tones and textured fabrics that resonate with mature sensibilities. She personally vetted every design test, swatching linens, weighing silk blends, and evaluating closures that accommodate emerging arthritic concerns without sacrificing style. The launch video features Jaclyn walking in a sunlit atelier, describing her vision. These pieces marry comfort with confidence. They honor our lived experiences while inviting us to move freely through each day. Influencers and style editors praised the collection for its thoughtful craftsmanship, and early adopters posted selfies under #SageStyle, celebrating the blend of elegance and ease. For Jaclyn, the collection is more than apparel. It's a wearable manifesto that aging need not diminish one's sense of self. It can refine and deepen it. As her birthday approaches, Jaclyn has also unveiled a limited edition fragrance line called Eternal Bloom. She collaborated with a master perfumer to capture notes she finds evocative of her journey. The sweet warmth of gardenias from her Southern Californian youth, the spicy undercurrent of cardamom reminiscent of travel in Morocco, and a subtle marine salt accord recalling afternoon breezes on the Big Sur coast. Each bottle is engraved with a medallion bearing the words, "Grow through what you go through," a phrase Jaclyn coined to articulate her philosophy. Early reviews describe the scent as both nostalgic and invigorating, a fitting olfactory portrait of a woman whose life has blended glamour, grit, and grace. Amid these ventures, Jaclyn's philanthropic mission has flourished. Through the Jaclyn Smith Foundation, she initiated a multi-year partnership with Women's World Clinics to fund telehealth services for women in remote communities. The program equips local health workers with tablets loaded with diagnostic tools and educational modules, ensuring that patients receive expert consultations without traveling long distances. Jaclyn's involvement extends beyond fundraising. She participates in strategy meetings, reviews impact reports, and visits pilot sites, like a women's health center in rural India, where she listens to patient stories and shares her own journey of self-care and resilience. Her hands-on approach underscores a vital truth. Philanthropy succeeds when it embraces both financial support and genuine human connection. In private reflection, Jaclyn marks these undertakings as expressions of her core belief in purposeful momentum. She defines it as the art of moving forward with intention, aligning actions with values, whether that means refining a skincare formula, mentoring a startup founder, or raising awareness for women's health. This ethos emerged from decades of balancing public expectations with personal authenticity. Early in her career, she learned that meeting the demands of network executives often clashed with her creative instincts. Over time, she honed the ability to negotiate terms that honored both her professional aspirations and her need for integrity. Today, she views every collaboration through that lens. Will this initiative advance my values? Does it serve a community in need? Will it challenge conventions in a way that enriches collective knowledge? Looking ahead, Jaclyn plans to publish a compendium titled Grace in Motion, merging essays, journal excerpts, and visual art created by contributors aged 70 and above. She envisions it as an anthology that celebrates late-life creativity, not as an afterthought, but as a flourishing branch of artistic endeavor. She's reached out to poets, painters, photographers, and dancers whose work interrogates themes of time, transformation, and self-discovery. The project's crowd-funded model ensures that participants receive royalties and promotional support, democratizing access to publishing for artists often sidelined by mainstream outlets. For Jaclyn, Grace in Motion is both a personal labor of love and a platform for elevating underrepresented voices. On the eve of her 80th year, Jaclyn Smith stands at the convergence of reflection and renewal. Her journey from action-packed television stardom to entrepreneurial powerhouse and compassionate philanthropist illustrates that a life lived with curiosity, courage, and care transcends age. She continues to defy stereotypes, modeling refined style, mastering digital platforms, and forging international partnerships, while remaining anchored in the values that shaped her from the start. As fans count down to her birthday celebrations and audiences tune into her workshops, one fact shines brighter than any spotlight. Jaclyn Smith proves that the art of aging is not about fading away, but about unveiling the richest, most vibrant version of oneself. In the quiet hours before dawn on the morning of her 80th birthday, Jaclyn Smith sits at a small wooden desk in her Santa Barbara home. A leather-bound journal opened before her. The pages are filled with reflections, sketches of project ideas, and gratitude lists that trace the arc of her life. Child model in Houston, television breakthrough on Charlie's Angels, entrepreneurial ventures that redefined beauty and fashion, and now a constellation of initiatives focused on wellness, creativity, and community. Across the room, a single white rose rests in a simple glass vase, a symbol that has woven through her public appearances since her 70th birthday and now marks this new chapter with a promise of growth and renewal. She picks up a favorite fountain pen, its gold nib glinting in the soft lamplight, and writes a single word at the top of the page: continuation. Beneath it, she sketches a timeline of upcoming plans: the release of Grace in Motion, her anthology celebrating artists over 70, an international speaking tour tied to her memoir, Moments in Motion, and a partnership with global artisans to create a line of sustainable jewelry inspired by coastal motifs that mirror her long-standing love of the sea. Each idea is anchored by a question she learned to ask early in her career. Does this align with who I am now and who I want to become? This question has become her North Star, guiding choices that honor both her legacy and her evolving passions. Later that day, family and close friends gather for an intimate fireside chat in Aspen, where pine-scented air drifts through open windows and the snow-capped mountains glow in golden light. Under a canopy of string lights, Jaclyn recounts moments from her life with an ease that belies the challenges behind each memory. The grueling audition for a television pilot that led to her breakthrough. The first time she signed a fashion licensing deal without fully understanding the fine print. And the night she realized the power of vulnerability after sharing her skincare journey publicly. She frames each story as a lesson learned, emphasizing that growth often emerges from missteps and that resilience is a muscle built one challenge at a time. As the evening unfolds, a montage of video tributes plays on a nearby screen. Candid interviews with collaborators she has mentored, clips of breakthrough performances from emerging actors and entrepreneurs she supported, and heartfelt messages from fans whose lives shifted course because of her encouragement. One video features a young artisan in Nairobi who used her Sage collection earnings to open a community co-op for women displaced by conflict. Another shows a retired schoolteacher in London who launched a poetry blog inspired by Jaclyn's late-life creativity. These stories reflect the ripple effect of Jaclyn's dedication to purpose-driven projects, proof that authenticity has consequences far beyond personal achievement. Toward the end of the night, Jaclyn stands to address her guests. Her voice carries the calm confidence that comes from decades of living in the public eye and learning to align every decision with core values. She thanks each person for their presence, their stories, and their partnership in this ongoing journey. Then, in a gesture that feels both intimate and symbolic, she places her journal on a small wooden pedestal beside the fire and invites each guest to write a single word that captures their hope for her next decade. As names are read aloud: joy, impact, curiosity, connection, Jaclyn feels a surge of gratitude. These words mirror the themes she has embraced all her life and now carry forward as she steps into a new era. In the weeks that follow, Jaclyn's private reflection blossoms into public momentum. Grace in Motion garners acclaim from critics and readers alike, praised for its vivid portraits of late career artists whose work challenges conventional ideas about aging. The anthology's launch event pairs readings by contributors with a live painting demonstration by a 92-year-old abstract artist, drawing crowds who come to celebrate creative longevity. Meanwhile, her memoir, Moments in Motion, lands on bestseller lists within days. Its candid portraits of Hollywood sets, boardroom negotiations, and quiet moments of self-doubt resonating with readers across generations. As autumn turns to winter, Jaclyn travels to Tokyo for her speaking tour, greeted by fans dressed in Sage collection, scarves, and clutching copies of her memoir. In each appearance, she blends personal anecdotes with actionable insights: how to build a sustainable brand, why authenticity matters in leadership, and the importance of cultivating habits that nurture mind, body, and spirit. She emphasizes that aging need not be a decline into obscurity. Rather, it can be an invitation to pursue passions with renewed vigor, grounded by the wisdom that only decades of experience can provide. Back at home, Jaclyn launches her sustainable jewelry line in partnership with artisans in Thailand and Vietnam, ensuring fair wages and eco-friendly practices at every step. The debut collection, a series of seashell-inspired pendants and pearl earrings, sells out within hours. Yet the greatest reward comes not from sales figures, but from messages she receives. Notes from women who wear her designs as talismans of personal transformation, reminders that beauty and ethics can coexist, and that every piece carries the intention of connection across cultures. Just before the end of the year, Jaclyn hosts one final virtual session of Circle of Grace, inviting participants to share reflections on their own first decades of reinvention, moments when they shed limiting beliefs and embraced bold possibilities. Hundreds of attendees flood the chat with testimonies of new businesses launched, late life educations begun, and creative dreams fulfilled. Jaclyn listens, responds, and celebrates each story, embodying the principle that real leadership is participatory, rooted not in authority, but in empathy and shared purpose. As the clock strikes midnight on her 80th birthday, Jaclyn steps back to survey the life she has consciously built, a tapestry of artistry, entrepreneurship, advocacy, and authentic storytelling. She holds her journal in one hand, the rose in the other, and smiles at the realization that the journey she began as a young model chasing auditions has transformed into a legacy of empowerment and inspiration. In that quiet moment, under a sky alive with stars, she whispers her own guiding word for the decade ahead: evolve.